video real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Quick video about the woke liberals still trying to gaslight the people on crime. He's telling the liberal that crime is up. And he's arguing with the brother, telling him crime is down. That's a lie. Let's go.
The reality in America is that crime is massively up.
Crime is not massively up. That's a lie.
You're lying, Congressman. You're lying. We already know that there are studies.
FBI just released data this week. The crime is going down. Oh my God! Why do you let this man lie on national television like this? This is not right.
You may not want to.
Congressman.
You're lying because you're lying to the American people now. So I want to be respectful of what you're trying to say.
Hang on a second.
Go ahead.
You would just let me talk. Hold on.
It's not silly when people.
We have to.
I'm sorry, Abby.
Please.
Go ahead. Of course.
We have to deal in facts here.
Thank you.
Okay. It's clear as day. The FBI put out statistics for 2023. The trend line is going down. If you don't believe the FBI, independent people who look at these numbers say the same thing. There was a spike in crime during the pandemic. That is true. Nobody's disputing that. But the reality is that crime is going down. You don't have to twist the facts to make the case that people feel unsafe. Just say people feel unsafe.
Yeah, so I want you guys to...
All right, he said crime is down. Let's go do our own research and see if crime's down. This is in New York, Brooklyn, 4 days ago. Let's go.
Disturbing story out of Brooklyn. Police have identified the father and daughter who were found dead with their throats slashed in their home in Cypress Hills. News 4's Gabi Acevedo live this afternoon. Gabi, I understand you have some new information from police?
That is correct. Police are looking into this case. I saw detectives coming in and out of the home during the day. And at this hour, you can see behind me, family and neighbors gathered to honor the victims in a vigil. They're all in shock about the violence that happened at this home here in Cypress Hills, where father and daughter live for over 30 years. And Natalie, as you mentioned tonight, police sources are telling News 4 they have someone in for questioning. Investigators working the crime scene after a gruesome discovery inside this two-story Brooklyn home.
You hear things like this and you know, but when it hits home,
it's different.
No words can't describe.
Police say 66-year-old Jacqueline DeLyons and her father, 91-year-old Roseville Simmons, both found dead on the kitchen floor of their house on Warwick Street. Their throats had been slit.
Feeling and just trying to get a sense of why and what happened and how it, you know, everything. And we don't have any of those answers.
Papa was a good person, him and his daughter, you know. It's tragedy what happened.
Roseville Simmons was known to people in the community as Bubba. Friends of the family say Jackie was a very religious person and that in recent years, she was sharing one of the floors inside the home with a man.
Before this horrific incident happened, she was writing down some scriptures with her brother and herself at a prayer line.
Detectives canvassed the scene looking for evidence. Police sources are questioning someone in connection to this case. Neighbors tell News 4 it's a man who also lived in the building.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with this guy. This guy was calm and peaceful. I never heard the guy curse a day in his life. None of that.
It's shocking to me. He doesn't seem the kind of person that would do something like that.
As we bring you back live, we're now waiting on word for any possible motive in this case. The family of the victim has respectfully asked us for privacy at this time. Reporting live from Cypress Hills, Gabi Acevedo, News 4, New York.
Where a 7-year-old girl has been shot. News 4's Mark Santia just arriving on scene. Mark, what have you learned so far?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a live look right now. You can see police spread out across the area here. Law enforcement sources close to this investigation confirmed News 4 a 7-year-old girl was shot on the sidewalk in front of the Starbucks here near 145 in Bradhurst. What is believed to be her pink Razor scooter is near the intersection. We're told she was just on the sidewalk riding that scooter when she was hit in the stomach. You can see several shell casings scattered around the area. Multiple rounds were fired. Law enforcement sources believe a stray bullet hit the child. We're told police officers who were nearby rushed over. They gave the child aid, and then the police officers rushed her to Harlem Hospital. We are told she's going to survive. That's the latest. Law enforcement sources say she is expected to survive. We're also told 2 people of interest are in custody at this point right now. Investigators talking to those 2 people of interest. No word on if they're searching for others at this time. Again, this stretches across the area, Natalie, here at 145 and Bradhurst in Harlem. 7-year-old girl, they believe she was a victim of a stray bullet. She was on the sidewalk here near her Razor scooter when she was hit in the stomach. Again, nearby police officers rushed over. They rendered aid to her, put her in the car, and they drove her to Harlem Hospital. Again, we are told the 7-year-old is expected to survive. You can see behind me, law enforcement spread out, the choppers up. We heard the drone in the air as well. 2 people of interest are being questioned right now by police. But again, a 7-year-old girl, we're told, was hit by a stray bullet. She was hit in the stomach. She was taken by police to Harlem Hospital. She's expected to be okay. This is a very fluid situation right now. We have a lot developing out here. As soon as we get more information, we'll bring it live to you. We're live in Harlem. I'm Mark Santia, News 4 New York.
Kids get together and then 2 people want to have a gunfight. They're all in a bad place.
Philadelphia police and city leaders tonight announcing the arrest of Zion Carroll, the district attorney charging the 17-year-old with the murder of Isis Stanley at a large gathering on June 14th in Fairmount Park.
Social media was a big part of this. This was what they call a meetup. So it was all developed on social media. There were about 200 people on Greenlaw Drive that night.
Deputy Commissioner Frank Venor says Carroll and an unidentified individual started shooting at each other during the meetup that was organized by 19-year-old Maurice Kwan. 4 were shot and 17-year-old Stanley was killed.
Everybody else that's involved in this is an innocent victim. Was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Investigators say Kwan hosted another large meetup 20 days later on the 4th of July on the 1900 block of South Salford Street in Southwest Philadelphia.
It looks like we have a white Toyota Highlander pull up to Salford. People from inside that vehicle fired weapons towards these individuals and then fled. That vehicle was recovered within 24 hours in Lansdowne.
Police say the shooting killed Kwan and injured 8 others who are between the ages of 14 and 24.
At the end of the day, young people do what young people do. But there's no reason they should be killed and trying to have a good time and promote a party.
City leaders say they expect more individuals to face charges in connection to both cases, and once again reiterate they won't tolerate violence of any kind.
We will not rest until every person feels safe in their homes and in their neighborhoods across the city of Philadelphia.
Investigators say they have made significant progress with the first case, but need the public's help solving the second one. If you have any information, you are asked to contact police. Remember, you can do so anonymously. Outside police headquarters in Spring Garden, I'm Brian Sheehan, NBC 10 News.
In a Delaware County neighborhood, as police search for 2 men, they say carjacked a family in Upper Darby. Those suspects remain on the run at this hour, even after SWAT teams surrounded the home just feet from where the carjacking happened. I'm Yuki Washington. Jess is off tonight. Despite a father fighting to protect his children, one of the suspects stole the man's car with his infant in the back seat. It all started on the 7100 block of Westchester Pike around 3 this afternoon. Police found the car after it was ditched about 3 blocks away. The baby was unharmed. CBS Philadelphia's Kerry Corrado has the very latest on the investigation.
It's the Upper Darby Police Department. We have a search warrant.
CBS News Philadelphia was there as police executed a search warrant for 2 suspects wanted in connection to a carjacking and shooting in Upper Darby Township Thursday afternoon. Investigators say they didn't find the men, but detectives stayed and searched the house for evidence after they received tips that one of the suspects lived there, the house only feet away from where the carjacking took place. Police have a message for the 2 men hiding from them.
I'm pleading with the 2 of you, turn yourself in. We know who you are, and we're asking you to turn yourself in.
Police say this all started when a father and 2 kids were approached by the men while the mother was in a store. Investigators say the father tried to fight the men off.
So you saw them fight in the car, you saw everything?
Yeah, I saw everything. I don't see that every day, but things happen, things happen here. Things happen, everywhere.
Police say one of the men was able to get away with the car and a 2-month-old child in the back seat.
The male puts it in drive and takes off. As he's
driving away west on Westchester Pike, we believe he fires one round from inside the car. That round, that projectile, ends up in a bus that's traveling eastbound on Westchester Pike.
I was sitting here, and I went upstairs. By the time I got upstairs to my kitchen, that's when I heard the shot.
Police say a few blocks away, the man ditched the car after they believe he realized the baby was in the back seat. They say he took off towards the Cobbs Creek golf course. Surveillance video from Keystone Pizza, only a few blocks away, shows a man park in the middle of Westchester Pike and then take off running. Neighbors who live nearby are just frustrated with the violence.
They're going to be hiding and like, you know, justice is justice for everybody at the end of the day. And we don't need that around here. Nobody with no guns shooting and making our community unsafe.
Police say no one on the SEPTA bus was injured. They also say the family is doing okay, but quite the scary situation for all of them. Carrie Corrado, CBS News, Philadelphia.
For over a year now, a local pastor was charged with sexually assaulting an underage family member whom he allegedly impregnated when the victim was just 14 years old. That pastor is due back in court tomorrow for a pre-trial hearing. We first brought you the story last year after the allegations surfaced. Tonight, another one of the alleged victim's relatives who spoke out against the pastor then is speaking to us again. KPRC2's Devin Clark is live downtown Houston with his message ahead of tomorrow's hearing.
Well, he's been back and forth to court over the last year.
In October last year, we told you about Pastor Robert L. Carter, who was charged with continued sexual abuse of a child and sexual assault of a child aged 14 to 17. Carter accused of doing this to a young family member.
How could you show your face in a church where you profess to
the Most High,
keep the word or speak the word of God?
This family member, who we are not identifying as to protect the alleged victim's identity, says Carter abused the girl some 600 times, starting when she was just 7 years old. Then got her pregnant when she was 14. He says the girl gave birth in a closet. Then Carter took their baby and dropped him off at a fire station.
I mean, it's horrific for one.
Wow.
But it's just been waiting on the judicial.
We got these sick cycles in our community, man.
Step in and do what
crime is down.
This family member says Carter must plead guilty by tomorrow or go to trial.
Liberals.
While the Harris County District Attorney's Office says they
crime is everywhere and is up like a motherfucker.
We have confirmed Carter is
the last 4 years crime
They have a
been
new
up.
judge, a no-nonsense judge, and I
Worse
think that
than
she's
before.
moving the case along as best she can.
Shortly after being charged, Carter posted the $200,000 bond. The alleged victim's family member we've been speaking to says the baby she had, now 6 years old, was adopted by a loving family.
That child is in the best place possible.
As for the alleged victim herself,
she was just tired. She was tired of being afraid.
Her loved one adds she's been working with the prosecutor and working to heal from the trauma Carter caused.
I've never met a woman stronger than that woman there. I've never met a woman who, knowing the facts, can get up every day and not go crazy.
In addition to justice for his loved one, the man you heard from says he hopes this story motivates other potential victims of sexual abuse to come forward. We have a list of resources right now on our website, click2houston.com. And again, Carter due back in court right behind me tomorrow. Reporting outside of the Harris County Criminal Justice Center, Devin Clark, KPRC 2 News.
Philadelphia transgender activist identified as Kendall Stevens is now charged with sexually assaulting 2 children under the age of 13.
Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's live for us outside police headquarters with the new details we're learning about this, Annie.
And Gray and Shari, disturbing details. Kendall Stevens was arrested today for the rape of a minor. Sources confirm that she is the same Stevens who is a prominent LGBTQ activist in the city. The state attorney general's office filed charges tonight against 37-year-old Kendall Stevens. The charges include the indecent assault against a person less than 13 years old, rape, unlawful contact with minor, sexual offenses, and endangering the welfare of children, parent, or guardian. Stevens came to Action News in August of 2020 after she was attacked in her Point Breeze neighborhood. She says she was targeted by a violent group for being a trans woman. Stevens then became a prominent prominent activist for the LGBTQ community. She urged lawmakers to change Pennsylvania's hate crime statute to include protections for LGBTQ people. She is seen here in March of 2021 at a press conference launching District Attorney Larry Krasner's LGBTQ Plus Advisory Board. The board was created in part to be a source of information and resources for victims and survivors of crime within the community.
It means to me that the transgender population will finally get the support that we need from city officials that we really haven't gotten historically.
Sources tell Action News the charges are in relation to the rape of 2 young boys under the age of 13. Stevens remains in custody tonight. A spokesperson
What's going on with this case, Philadelphia?
said in a statement, the investigation of allegations against her is being led by another agency, and as such, we have no comment. Now, judge did set bail at $250,000. The next court appearance is scheduled for December 29th. Often, the state attorney general's office takes on cases from local district attorney's offices if there's a conflict. For now, reporting live outside of Philadelphia Police Headquarters, Annie McCormick for Action News at 10 on PHL 17.
That we have been tracking very closely here, the latest on the murder of a nursing student on the University of Georgia campus. Court documents detailing the disturbing allegations against the illegal immigrant charged with killing Laken Riley, who you see right there on your screen. Fox's Madison Scarpino following the story from Athens, Georgia, joining us live. Good morning, Madison. We did get a lot of new information here, although there is still a lot overall left to figure out.
That's right, Josh. Some gruesome new details. Jose Ibarra, the suspected killer of Laken Riley's arrest affidavit, says that he used a weapon to seriously disfigure her skull. And the affidavit also says that Ibarra concealed the death by dragging Riley's body to a secluded area. The coroner here says the full autopsy report likely won't be out for several weeks. These new developments come as hundreds gathered on campus yesterday for a vigil to honor Laken Riley, as well as another student who died by suicide the night before Riley died.
She exuded devotion with each and everything that she did. A devoted Christian, sister, student, daughter, and friend. And we have no doubt that she would have been an incredible nurse. It is absolutely earth-shattering to think that the world will never have that opportunity.
The suspected killer is in jail without bond for Riley's murder. ICE confirms Ibarra illegally entered the U.S. through El Paso in 2022. They say New York police arrested him just a few months ago in August for acting in a manner to injure a child. ICE says NYPD released him before they could issue a detainer on Ibarra. The White House says they extend their deepest condolences to Riley's family and that anyone found guilty should be held accountable to the fullest extent. And Josh, the district attorney here, says that they're bringing in a top trial attorney to prosecute Ibarra, but they say that the office has not yet received the case. Back to you.
Police say a young man and a woman from Manhattan were kidnapped, killed, and left in a car that got torched in the Bronx. 4 of the 5 suspects, they've been caught. Now tonight, News 4's Mark Santia talked to the victims' mothers who are pleading for that killer to turn himself in.
Just think about it, this was your child.
2 New York City moms united in heartache.
It's been pretty rough. It's like stumbling in darkness.
These moms lost their children, Nikki Huang and Jesse Isaiah Perea. They were kidnapped from the Lower East Side, then tortured, shot, and burned in the Bronx.
It wasn't enough to just kill them. You burned them up. We couldn't even get to see them for one last time.
The bodies of the 22-year-olds were found in a burning car near the Pelham Split Rock Golf Course back in 2022. The motive for the crime is still unknown.
Isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about her.
These moms not only share a common grief, but a common mission to see Steven Santiago brought to justice.
Steven Santiago is a monster. We weren't even able to bury our children because of what you did to their bodies.
The NYPD has arrested 4 of the 5 suspects in Nikki and Jesse Isaiah's case, but Santiago is still on the run.
Steven could be anywhere from Maine to Mexico, from California to South America, and even in numerous Caribbean islands.
Detective John Soto says the reward for Santiago is more than $10,000.
Finding Steven Santiago is a matter of life and death. He is a brutal individual, and we believe that he absolutely has the capability of committing more murders.
Police say they understand if people are concerned or scared to come forward with information, but they want to stress with Crime Stoppers, you remain anonymous.
We never know your name. We never know your identity.
For these two moms, Santiago's arrest will not bring their beloved children back, but they say it will make a difference.
Let my daughter, let Jessie have the justice that they deserve, and let the families have some peace. It's time. It's time.
In Lower Manhattan, Mark Santia, News 4 New York.
Shooting. Tonight, police say a woman is dead and 2 others are critically hurt.
Neighbors are left shaken by the violence that erupted in their Stone Oak neighborhood. Let's bring in KENS 5 reporter Hannah Tita, who joins us live on Winter Hill Road. That's near Stone Oak Parkway in Huebner. And Hannah, police are still investigating what happened.
That's right. The Bexar County Medical Examiner just pulled up moments ago, presumably to take the body. A portion of Winter Hill remains blocked off nearly 5 hours after officers were called for a deadly shooting. A quiet residential corner is transformed into a crime scene.
It's a little scary, definitely.
College students Jordan Johnson, Aaron Ponce, and Ernesto Almada were working on a project when they heard a commotion just after 5.
I wasn't too sure of what it was. I thought it was construction or traffic, but I did kind of peek out and I saw first responders, so that was alarming.
Police say they responded to reports of shots fired on Winter Hill off Huebner Road.
The person that called said that they heard a shooting and that they believe they saw a body.
When officers arrived, they found 2 people in a front yard suffering from gunshot wounds, a middle-aged woman and a man in his 20s. Officers then asked neighbors if they saw anyone fleeing the home.
Yeah, I was asked. I did not see anyone.
Investigators wouldn't say whether a suspect is on the run, but we're told just before officers were about to clear the scene, they found another man inside the house suffering from critical injuries.
The female was pronounced deceased at the scene, and the 2 male victims were transported to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries.
Police won't say whether they're investigating the incident as an attempted murder-suicide, but neighbors suspect family violence of some sort.
Family of 4, I think, wife, husband, and 2 kids, around 20 or a bit younger.
With no information on the suspect, many are left uneasy.
Things are happening closer to home and in your own neighborhood, you know.
And police have not called this an isolated incident. They're asking residents to be on the lookout and to report suspicious activity. Reporting live on the north side, Hannah Tita, KENS 5.
One person and injuring 12 people this morning at Tuskegee University. In the case, police say they arrested Jaquez Myrick, who was found leaving the scene of the shooting in possession of a machine gun with a conversion device. Myrick was arrested and charged federally with possession of a machine gun. The shooting taking place at the tail end of Tuskegee's 100th homecoming celebration. And a warning, the video you're about to see shows the gunfire ringing out. Faith Bouvet has a story.
Tonight, young people frantically telling each other to get down. Get out, get out, get out, get out. You can hear the gunfire ringing out around them. The terrifying scene unfolding on the Tuskegee University campus in Alabama overnight. It was homecoming weekend at the historically black university.
While other officers were assisting the medical triage of it, we had to exercise caution because we didn't know if the shooter was still on the scene. 12
injured by gunfire, 16 hurt in total, including students. An 18-year-old who was not a student did not survive.
Homecoming was supposed to be an enjoyable time, enjoyable place here at Tuskegee University. It's for something like this to happen. People are disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm sad, I'm disappointed, really confused about why somebody would do something like this.
Late today, authorities announcing they've made an arrest in connection with the shooting.
Tuskegee announced that all classes tomorrow have been canceled. Grief counselors will be available to help students in the university's chapel.
Yeah, absolutely awful story here. We're talking about a 23-year-old woman. Police telling us that she was stalked by a man that she didn't know as she was walking on the sidewalk here. We are outside of the Plaza New York Times Square Hotel. This is just off of 8th Avenue. It is near Times Square, but it is actually in Midtown. And they are telling me that this man had a long criminal history. Go ahead and take a look at this video right here. This is from earlier today. Now, police are saying this is the suspect. He is 33-year-old Jaheim Warren of Prospect Park, New Jersey. He was arrested today in New Jersey by a task force that includes the NYPD and the U.S. Marshals Service. Now, police say that it was about 4:45 in the morning on October 29th when 23-year-old Leslie Torres was walking on West 46th Street by herself. Now, the suspect had been randomly following her. They did not know one another. Police say he attacked her and strangled her right on the sidewalk. Now, at this particular time, the young woman then was rushed to the hospital. Now, last week, she died, sadly, from her injuries. Now, police are also saying that this suspect has a long criminal history in New Jersey and that he served time in prison in New Jersey for drug dealing. But again, I mean, it's just an awful crime to think about. A 23-year-old woman just simply walking on the sidewalk here near Times Square, no matter what time of day, and randomly is attacked and strangled. Back inside to you.
Yeah, boy, brutal. All right.